thank you for the opportunity to be here this morning and to share essentially one thought. That one thought that I would like to leave you with, you've heard it in a different sense than I will refer to this morning. That is that one person can make the difference. And that difference, of course, can mean different things to different people. Abilene Christian University is an institution that can make a difference, a being in the general sense. And this institution certainly made a lot of differences in my life. When I showed up on this campus, I certainly needed the environment and the offerings of the people as well as the academics that was available to me. It contributed to me by its very existence. And I know that you've heard a lot about that, so I won't dwell on that. And we also know that one man, Jesus, made a difference. And he made the difference in terms of salvation. But I think that God expects us as men and women today to make a difference, and sometimes the difference in a person's life. So that's what I want to just have a few remarks about. Because one individual made the difference in my life. And I have had the opportunity to be in 27 different countries of the world. I'm associated with the rich, the poor. I have known the famous, the unknown, and even the unrecognized mass of humanity that exists in China, in the continent of Africa, and even in New York City, in this country. But being in the masses of people throughout the world certainly has awakened me to our responsibilities to mankind. But in all of these experiences, I've returned time and time again to think of one man in my life from the professional standpoint. And in thinking that one man has helped me in a lot of ways in a lot of difficult times. Like you, I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit Abilene Christian College as it was known then when I was a sophomore at the end of the sophomore year. But because of one man, I did not. Time and time again, that one person has come to my mind when I wanted to quit professionally. I wanted to quit family. I wanted to quit job. I wanted to quit the church. And each time, I honestly thought about one man. Not from the standpoint of, I said to myself, what would he think? And I didn't say it from the standpoint of fear or intimidation, wondering what I would have to say to him if I ever saw him again. But rather it was a pleasant type of thought. Not a fear, but one of consolation. Knowing full well that that one person would expect me to go ahead and try the best that I could to continue and not give up. I showed up on this campus in 1955, but it was 1958 that made a significant change for me professionally. It was a hot day in June, as Abilene can be. He took me out to an adjacent piece of land that was owned by the university, and it was a special studies class that he was teaching, and he showed me how to measure vegetation. Now that doesn't mean anything to most of it, but it means an awful lot indirectly to all of us. Because in those measurements, it includes vegetation cover, and that's certainly important in the water cycle, the carbon dioxide cycle. And it's important from the standpoint of vegetation production, the forage production for livestock and for wildlife throughout the world. Depends on vegetation. So he showed me how to measure vegetation, and 30 years later, I wrote a book. It was published in 1989 by John Wiley of New York, and the book is entitled Measurements for Terrestrial Vegetation. I dedicate the book and the work to that one man, Dr. F.M. Churchill, Abilene Christian University.
Charles, when he was in school, was married, had 2 kids. He and his wife both worked, but yet he found time to make the kind of grades that was necessary for his professional improvement and for continuation in graduate school. And it is indeed a pleasure to have students like Charles, who you watch their career and see them soar. And that's the payment for teaching. And you see young people like this who do grow and develop, become internationally recognized, which Charles is. And it's a pleasure that I accept this book. Frankly, there's some I can't read it. There's things in here I don't understand today. This was in 1956 when we started this. But I did look through and see some of those old principles that were still in here. And that's what Charles is dedicated to. The old underlying Christian principles of dedication, service to God, to his family, and to his friends, and to his job. Thank you very much.
I have remembered you two in two ways. One is royalty checks, and the other one is I will dedicate and give a book, also a copy of this book to Dr. T on behalf of the students and the faculty of Almost at University of Abilene Christian University.